War on terror created fertile ground for private military companies or PMCs. We were gradually replacing all overseas US troops, from Afghanistan to Iraq. Plans were getting drawn up to replace entire US Army with private contractors entirely. PMCs had a bright future ahead of them. However, everything changed with Bernie Sanders' presidency. He ended all US interventions and took a harsh stance against PMCs and private security corporations at home. Lacking options, PMC's corporate leadership decided to stay in Afghanistan. However, troops they employed were dissatisfied with increased intensity of combat and unchanged pay. Fall of Kabul was their last straw, and with support of left-behind coalition units, commonly referred to as lost companies, mercenaries orchestrated a coup. Post-coup, all former coalition forces in northwestern Afghanistan united into Afghanistan Pacification Force, but most referred to them as the Lost Company. David Dresden, a former PMC commander, was chosen as a compromise leader. To afford new equipment and mercenary recruitment, opium was legalized in Lost Company's territory. After withstanding Taliban's onslaught, Lost Company went on the offensive, intending to link up with remnants of the Afghan national government. After some heavy fighting, Lost Company managed to link up with remnants. And it exploited a gap in Taliban's lines to capture Kabul without a shot fired. Kabul's capture only exacerbated Lost Company's issues. Its Afghan units defected en masse to the Afghan national government, and discontent among non-Afghan soldiers grew, as many of them still wanted to go home. But David Dresden had other plans. He had dreams of establishing an international stratocratic state in which only military veterans could participate and run in elections. However, he knew that this had little support among his men, so for now, official reason for staying in Afghanistan was Taliban's unwillingness to let them peacefully leave. Following an extremely close and violent election, United States of America Lost Company's main equipment and personnel supplier collapsed into a civil war. As more states started falling into civil wars, finding reliable suppliers became next to impossible. However, there were even bigger issues to deal with. Pat Tillman, one of the left-behind unit commanders, staged a mutiny and demanded means to leave for a war-torn US. David Dresden allowed him and his troops to leave. Then he announced his true goals and gave every soldier a choice to either leave or become part of his new world order. Most left. This created huge manpower shortages, which were solved by introducing conscription in Afghan areas considered pacified. Lost Company's name was officially changed to Universal People's Union. However, just like before, most still refer to it as the Lost Company. By 2026, Taliban was no longer able to fight a conventional war, and have gone back underground once again. Tensions between lost company and Afghan national government were constantly rising, and they finally boiled over in December 1st, 2027. Despite initial strong resistance, Kabul was taken in less than a month. After its fall, Afghan national government completely collapsed. Almost 4 years of building up later, fueled by lithium export profits and manpower from recently pacified northwestern Afghanistan, the lost company was ready for a war. Next target was Tajikistan, a country that had just months prior lost a war with its neighboring Kyrgyzstan and has become little more than its puppet. Not even a year later, a new opportunity presented itself. Iran and Turkmenistan intervened to aid breakaway Uzbekistan's region of Korlapastan. While Iran's armies were occupied in Uzbekistan, lost company could easily invade their highly defensible homeland. Lost Company was able to win the war. High casualty rate had drained its manpower reserves dry. Despite high conscription rate, its replenishment was slow, as recruitment was only done in states considered fully pacified, and they only encompassed northern Afghanistan. 2032 was the year of unifications. Communists reunified the United States, Tsardom was restored in Russia, and Kuomintang reunified China once more. With entire northern Afghanistan pacified, Lost Company finally had enough manpower to finish off Iran. If successful, this war would end Lost Company's reliance on steel imports, making it almost self-sufficient. While Lost Company successfully defeated Iran, war has highlighted its army's inability to deal with armor. Lost Company Air Force was too small to deal with armored threats, and its IFVs and infantry anti-tank systems proved to be incapable of such tasks. This prompted David Dresden to initiate full army reorganization to incorporate exosuits and gauss rifles.